Hi everybody. Next we are going to discuss about the RISC and the CISC. So it is a very important topic. So reduced instruction set and the complex instruction set. So the RISC is architecture. So simplified instruction set we can use. It's a simplified architecture comparably CISC because it is reduced instruction set. So obviously the instruction set is reduced in the sense so automatically we can able to as a human we can able to do very many wonders and it can be able to do many things. So it is a reduced instruction set. Okay, it is a process mainly they execute in single clock itself. So because the digital circuits mainly based upon the digital clock, it will be work. So it will perfectly execute in single cycle itself. So it's a main advantages, and it gives a higher performance. So we expecting in the digital circuits mainly the number of cycle will be reduced and the performance is good means so automatically the system is called as a good system. The efficiency is high. So the RISC is comes under the single clock itself will be executed and it will give the high performance compared with the IPC. And also mainly the compiler to optimize to execute the instruction set very effective manner. And also the RISC architecture includes the ARM processor and the MIPS and the Power PCs also. It's very useful. And here to have the instruction set we have the main memory and the instruction set for the execution, and the register also have based upon the register it will be execute. That's the main advantage of RISC. So this is a RISC and CISC architecture. Mainly the RISC architecture it will be a build a new business model, mainly used in the business model and reduce the risk and the investment. So in the online trading and all we can use this RISC processor and offer the flexibility to customize the processor. This is the main important thing, and it mainly it's a open source. That is a very important of the RISC processor. And the main characteristics of the RISC architecture mainly it's a simple instruction and a loaded or stored architecture. It's a single cycle execution and register operations and the compiler optimization. These are main key characteristics of the RISC architecture. The simple instruction set mainly has a small setup and a simple instruction to execute and perform the operation. This is the main advantages. And the load or store architecture mainly they often employ the instruction set. Everything will be available in the architecture, so we can able to retrieve from the memory and we can able to do and we can execute the process. And it's a single cycle execution we already discussed, so it will execute a single cycle. The most of the instructions mainly they execute by using single clock itself. That's the main advantage. And a register operation mainly it frequently emphasize the operation between the register rather than the between the memories and register. So automatically it will be reduce the access time and improve the performance. That's the main advantages. And compare the optimization to architectures really heavily on compiler to optimize the export the instruction level in parallelism and other performance to execute the other technique. The complex instruction set computing mainly is having the architecture has a larger and more complex set of the instruction comparable to the CISC. Okay, and it can perform the task is as per the instructions. The instruction can improve and involve the multiple operation. So the RISC may be in a single, but in the CISC we can able to do the multiple operation such as a memory access on arithmetic operations and the control for instruction and everything and etc. goes we can able to done a multiple operation. And also the CISC architecture is often having the variable length of instruction. For example, the CISC architecture to include the Intel processor and AMD processor we can able to do. And the key characteristics of the key CISC architecture mainly is a large instruction set and a variable length of the instruction set and a memory operation and the microcode implementation and the emphasis of hardware complexity. So large instruction set compared with the RISC, the CISC have the somewhat the large instruction set and it will have the it perform the complex task also. Basically, the RISC have the reduced instruction set, but the complex the CISC have the complex set, but also have the multiple complex performance we can able to do here. And the variable length of instruction mainly having vary the length and some instruction taking the multiple bytes of memory. This is the main other advantages. And the memory characteristics is often support the instructions. It can perform the operations directly between the memory location and without necessary loading of data into register first. And also Mainly the microcode we can able to implement such a low level coding and also hardware specific coding and the complex instruction set we can able to do here. And the emphasis of hardware complexity, the RISC architecture also we are using here, and the hardwares include the specialized instruction set and decoder encoder and will be handle over to the various instruction set very effective manner. This is the main characteristics of this CISC. And this is a RISC characteristics. The flow data type, the pipeline can be achieved more gentle performance for general purpose. We can able to do this register and instruction set under the undersize and of the onward, and the simple instruction set can is having used the simple instruction and decoding. Advantage of RISC is a simple instruction set, faster execution, and low power consumption. This is the main advantage of the RISC. Even though having the advantage, some disadvantage also having more instruction set is required and increase the memory usage and higher cost comparability says. The complex instruction set architecture mainly it's having the single instruction set will do all the loading and evaluating the process and have the multiple command will given the step and also will have to execute the loading data evaluation of the strong data storing the data. And the CISC have the complex instruction set and hence instruction sets are decoding and also instruction set may take more than single cycle to get the executed and also it's a one word size and also less number of general purpose registers we can use for the operating performance and it's a complex addressing mode and also it is a more data type we have. That is the main characteristics of the CISC. And advantages, it's a reduced code size, memory efficient and widely we can use. CISC is a widely we can use and it's having no longer time and it's a longer time we can able to use in the real-time variable. And also disadvantages, it's a slower to execution because it's already told it's a larger size of code, so it will be execution time will be high comparably risk, and a more complex design and how the instruction set also having more and a higher power consumption is the main another disadvantage of the system. Thank you.